All right, guys, here we go again. Welcome back to another episode of What Have I Done and Not Shown You? It has been a lot of just on off fitting, making things work. So I didn't really film that. So again, we're kind of like last episode. I'm just going to be kind of going over everything that I've done and what my current issue is, which, man, money pit just keeps going. But let's get into it. All right, so as you can see, it's mostly put together. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, I understand this is ugly, and we're going to talk about that. But theoretically, it should start right now. I have all the lines made, oil and coolant, everything's hooked up, besides like this stuff, right? So, downpipe is made and welded kind of, I don't know. It doesn't go all the way back. It's like, I don't know, maybe it goes back to like here. So if I do start it, it would be stupid loud. But, okay, let's just start with this here. Since I'm using stock ECU, I need to keep the mass airflow for now. So kind of ugly, I know. Valve cover vent, and then idle air control valve. I believe that needed to be like post math, but I didn't want it to see boost pressure, so really my only area was this right here. Kind of ugly, but I think it'll do the job for now. So that is going to be a temporary setup. I did get my fittings for this and for the pump down there. So those are hooked up, ready to go. I did crank the motor last night and pushed oil through the oil feed line, just to kind of prep that system, so it doesn't really dry fire. I don't think it would have been a big deal, but just figured I'd do it. One issue I've had with this car, kind of since I got it, and I've not like actively been chasing it, but it would have this random no start, and it would just crank. I went through everything I could think of to try and remedy it, and it has still done it. And actually, through this process through the process of this whole single turbo or larger turbo conversion, I think I found the issue. So we'll just look at that real quick. So initially, I had looked at and tested the crank sensor because I thought that might be a failure point, and it tested good. And so I kind of ruled that out. Well, months later, I'm doing all this stuff, fitting lines, putting the alternator back in, and one of the terminals actually came out of this side of the connector, and it was barely hanging on by a thread. So I'm like 90% positive. Actually, it was in this connector here, which is now apart, obviously, but that was it. I'm like 90% sure that was it, so I just redid these connections, and just going to leave it like that for now to make sure that it works and that I don't have any more starting issues. Now, the current problem. I got all of this together, right? I got brand new pump installed. All the front cover stuff is in. I got the water pump tapped, and everything's just good to go. So I went to put the fan on, the pulley on, and don't fit. Yeah, so I learned something new. I bought a quote-unquote 2J GTE and 1J GTE water pump, so I figured it was going to work. Well, pulley sizes are different. Apparently, you can't really get the water pumps for this car or the pulleys. Parts are just hard to find. I talked to Drift Motion, and they said some of them you're not gonna find either in the U.S. or overseas. So it's kind of left me in a pickle because it's so close to running. I don't really want to order more parts. He said you can get a new pulley, and you can get it would be a, what was it, LS400 clutch fan, and then a 7M blade, and he said that would work. And then they make a new pulley that has the bigger diameter. You can see this one's, I don't know why it's so beat, but it just came like that. But yeah, so this is the factory, I think it's 78 millimeter diameter, and then this is a 91 millimeter. The studs are further apart, so fan doesn't fit and the pulley don't fit. So a new pulley is like 30 bucks. That whole combo is like another 150 bucks. So I'm looking at another 200 bucks just to get this stuff going. Yeah, I don't really want to spend it. So I'm considering putting the old pump back on, just clean it up, because there's nothing wrong with it. There's no signs of leaking or anything. I just figured since I'm in here, may as well get a new one. But I just spent 200 bucks on a new one and it don't work. So I don't know. That might go back in for now just to get it running, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'll start collecting parts again to do this swap. But that's kind of where it's at for now. I was really hoping to have some sort of startup video, but that doesn't look like it's gonna happen. I'll probably spend my little bit of free time tonight to tear down the front of this engine and probably put the old pump back on, probably clean it up, do all that stuff. But yeah, it's a process. It's been a learning process for sure, unfortunately. But that's how it goes, and this is why I'm relaying this information to you guys. A lot of you, it might just be new information, but I haven't really, done the whole like JZ modification stuff. I don't have a lot of experience with it, so I'm just diving in and seeing what happens. But anyways, I think I'm gonna end the video there. I hope that helps somebody out there. Yeah, stay tuned. There's one of these days there's gonna be a startup video, hopefully sooner than later. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one.